Okay, this is part two of this video here using this popcorn material here. I just thought I wet it a little bit, but here's what happens when you wet it. It starts disintegrating. Uh, uh, so I don't know how good this is going to be, with the grounded pieces when I start mixing it with paint and water, because it's probably going to disintegrate those little tiny flakes. If this is doing this to the big pieces, it's probably going to disintegrate the other pieces. This would be great, great material to create. Instead of using that nasty sticky foam sprays that people use, insulation foam, this would be a way to do rocks and mountains. To use this popcorn here and just wet it, and you can create these blobs here, because the material tends to disintegrate and collapse on itself, and it gets a little bit. It's a little sticky, but it's manageable. It's not as sticky and it's water soluble. You can wash your hands with this. It's not as sticky as the expanding foam. So this would be kind of the opposite. The foam is already expanded. You wet it, and then it collapses, and you can easily clean yourself with a wet rag. This has, as far as the stickiness, it has the same consistency as if you were to work with paper glues, Elmer's glue. If you get that in your hands, it's got the same kind of stickiness. But like I said, you can easily wipe yourself wipe your hands with a wet rag, or just wash your hands. So this would make a great simulated rocks, and you can make I don't know, um, mountains, with this material. I just wet it, so I would have to wait for this to dry and see how this turns out, once it's dried. So we'll have to wait another segment of this video to see how this material actually turns up, once it's dried up. But it's, I just thought I'd capture this on video, since I'm still experimenting with these materials and things, just to make the process a lot faster and more efficient. So this is part two of this video using these popcorn pellets. I believe this material is these popcorns are what they call biodegradable popcorn pellets. That's the reason why this is disintegrating with water, because it's biodegradable. It's degrading, just with water. As you can see, it's creating like a, I don't know if I'm going to be able to grind this. I was going to put this in the grinder, and the reason why I wet it is just to make it a little more heavier, so I don't have to shake the grinder. But and I don't want my grinder to get. Although I can wash it, sure I can wash it. This is almost like a buttery thing, like a buttery consistency, which is it's interesting, because I wasn't expecting this material to do that. But considering that this is biodegradable, yeah, that would make sense. That this is you can dilute this with water, but you can see how, it's almost like rice when it's really heavily cooked, that it comes out in lumps. You start losing the shape of the rice, and then once that's done, and I wouldn't be surprised if this has some kind of a similar ingredient to rice, because it feels almost like rice. When rice is really cooked, and it gets really mushy. So that's the material we're talking about, and this is really easy to, you can mold this into whatever you want. It is a little sticky, but, and this was a good amount of those popcorn pellets. I had a handful of this stuff, so I think it's going to. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Unfortunately, as I had planned on using this. I think once I put the paint, this is going to collapse the material into a lumpy, just a lump, a ball. So I don't know, once this is dried, if I can even grind that, once it's dry. But unfortunately, that's not going to work. I don't think so. Second part of this video, and that's what we have to do. Through experimentation, that's the only way to find out, is to dive in and try these things and see what works and see what doesn't. But unfortunately, that's not gonna work.